As twilight bled into the ink-black night, Marcus steered his battered 2001 sedan down the desolate highway, the car's creaks and groans echoing his weariness. The day's relentless grind had drained him dry, his eyelids heavy with exhaustion. Seeking a momentary reprieve, he let out a long, shaky yawn and briefly closed his eyes, surrendering to the creeping fatigue. In an instant, reality snapped back with a jolt. Marcus's eyes shot open, and his heart lurched into his throat. Glancing into the rearview mirror, he was met with a pair of blazing red eyes staring hungrily at him from the back seat. "What the actual hell?" he muttered, his voice barely above a whisper, as a cold sweat broke across his forehead. He was damn sure he was alone when he hit the road. The empty expanse stretched endlessly, flanked by gnarled trees that seemed to claw at the sky. Panic surged, icy fingers gripping his chest as he yanked the steering wheel, pulling the car to a screeching halt. Heart pounding like a drum, he threw his head back and scanned the vacant seat, nothing but shadows and silence. A chill hissed through the cabin, raising goosebumps on his arms. Marcus's mind raced, thoughts spiraling into the abyss of the unknown. Am I losing my mind? Is this some twisted prank? Rationality screamed for logic, but the surreal horror gnawed relentlessly at his sanity. Taking a shaky breath, he forced himself to steady his nerves, fingers trembling on the worn leather. Summoning every ounce of grit, he dared to glance back into the mirror. The eyes were there again, closer this time, their malevolent glow intensifying as if drawing him into a vortex of despair. His stomach lurched, fear wrapped around him like a vice. Memories clawed their way to the surface, old tales his grandmother spun about spirits haunting lonely roads, entities that thrived on human fear. He had always dismissed them as old wives' nonsense, but now doubt gnawed at him like a ravenous beast. Marcus's thoughts teetered on the brink of madness. The air grew thick, shadows outside pulsating with sinister life. I can't stay here, he thought, instinct screaming to bolt. But escape felt impossible. The darkness seemed to close in, suffocating and relentless. Desperation clawed at him. He slammed his foot on the gas, tires screeching in protest as the car lurched forward. The engine roared defiantly, but no respite awaited. The eyes remained in the mirror, a constant, oppressive presence, their gaze piercing his very soul. As he sped through the night, the road twisted into a nightmarish labyrinth, the landscape morphing into grotesque shapes that defied reason. Time distorted, minutes stretched into eternity. Marcus's mind became a battleground of fear, memories, and the unsettling realization that he might be confronting something beyond comprehension. Just when he thought he couldn't endure another second, the world stilled. The car sat alone on the forsaken road, the night swallowing any trace of his passage. Marcus's breath hitched as he dared one final glance into the mirror. The red eyes had vanished, replaced by an oppressive silence that pressed in on him from all sides. He exhaled a shaky breath, adrenaline ebbing away, leaving him trembling and hollow. Questions swirled like a dark storm. Was it real? A hallucination born of exhaustion? Or had he glimpsed something ancient and malevolent lurking just beyond the veil of reality? As he resumed his drive, the road stretched out before him, an unending path into darkness, the memory of those eyes etched indelibly into his psyche. The night held its secrets close, and Marcus knew that whatever he had encountered would haunt him long after the road had swallowed him whole. The shadows whispered their eternal truths, and he was left to ponder the thin, fragile line between the known and the unknowable, the real and the imagined.